Welcome to Instruqt Tutorials! In this video, we'll take a look at how to make labs more interactive by adding activities to our instructions. One popular activity type is the quiz, which tests a user's understanding of the material. Quizzes can cover one or more topics and include various question types, like multiple choice, numeric input, and more. These help reinforce learning and ensure users are engaging with the content. To start building a quiz, let's define some individual questions first. Question resources share a common structure, though the answer field and settings may vary based on the question type. In our lab's root directory, let's create a new file named quizzes.hcl. Then add a single choice question resource called France. A single choice question presents a user with a question and several answer options, but only one correct answer. The question field defines what you want to ask, and the answer field is defined using a string value. Now we'll add incorrect but plausible choices using the distractors field. To help users when they get a question wrong, you can add a list of hints to any question type. These hints are shown one at a time, in the order you define them, giving the user more guidance with each incorrect attempt. Let's add an additional question resource to the configuration, this time a multiple choice question named Cities France, which asks the question, which of these are cities in France? For multiple choice questions, users can select more than one answer, and the correct answer will consist of multiple values. This is why the answer field is a list of strings instead of a single string value. You can also include additional incorrect options using the distractors field to make the question more challenging. Now let's give the user some hints for when they submit the wrong answer. To bring our questions together, let's define a quiz resource. This lets us list the questions to ask, control how many attempts users get, and choose whether to show hints. To do this, we'll add a quiz resource named France to the quizzes.hcl file. To add questions to the quiz, we'll use the questions field, which holds a list of references to the questions themselves. We'll add the questions we created earlier to the quiz we just created. To show the hints that we specified on each of the question resources, we need to enable showing them on the quiz by setting Show Hints to True. Now that we have configured different types of questions and used them in our quiz, we need to embed it in the instructions in order for it to be shown to the end user. Let's create a new page markdown file called instructions/quiz.md and add some content to it. To embed a quiz into our lab instructions, we'll use the Instruqt quiz component in our markdown file. This component takes a single ID parameter. This ID acts as a unique key within the page and maps to a quiz resource in our config, like resource.quiz.france. This setup allows us to reuse quizzes across labs or modules without hard-coding quiz references into the markdown. Now that we have the markdown file with the embedded quiz component, we need to create a page resource to use the markdown. So we'll add a page resource named quiz to the pages.hcl file and set the file field to point at the new markdown file. To fully connect an Instruqt quiz component to a quiz resource, we need to define an activities map in the corresponding page resource. The activities map links the component's ID to the actual resource. You can include multiple entries in the activities map, each one connecting a quiz or task to its corresponding component on the page. In order for the page to show up in our instructions, we need to add it to the outline in the new main.hcl file. Let's add the quiz page to the introduction chapter and reference our newly created page resource. Awesome! Now let's hit Command S to save and check our work. We'll validate our changes with Instruqt Lab Validate. Great, everything looks good. So we'll do git add, commit our changes and add a commit message, and lastly, let's push our changes to GitHub. If we head over to play.instruqt.com, we see the latest commit on GitHub matches the status of our lab. Let's start it up. Now we see we have an additional page added in the introduction chapter. This second page displays our quiz component and shows the questions we defined. If we click the wrong answer, we see a hint appears. If we click the right answers, it's marked correct. Great job! For more information on adding quizzes to your labs, head to our documentation page.